You may notice your breathing tighten when a message arrives, or your jaw clench before a hard conversation. Those physical signs show how the body reacts before the mind has a chance to decide. This audiobook explains how the brain actually changes when you practice simple habits and how those changes help you stay calm in stressful moments. You will hear clear steps you can use right away, like breathing techniques that slow your heart rate, simple routines that reduce distractions, and short mental checks that stop automatic reactions. Each practice is described in plain language with real examples, so you can try them the moment you finish a sentence. Expect short exercises that make you feel steadier and small daily choices that add up over time. The approach is practical and science-based without complicated words. You will learn why small, consistent actions affect how you think, feel, and respond, and how sleep, movement, and focused attention all support emotional control. Along the way, there are quick moments to notice your body and short prompts to apply what you learn, so the ideas move from theory into how you live. Listen for one simple skill that will change how you respond under pressure, and for a daily routine you can use starting tonight. If you follow through, this material will help you feel less ruled by sudden emotions and more able to choose how you act, even when things are uncertain. Chapter 1. Commit to daily action that improves your life. Every meaningful change in a human life begins with a single honest decision, not a loud promise, not a dramatic declaration, just a quiet moment where you decide that today will not be wasted. Most people wait for confidence, clarity, or motivation before they act. That waiting becomes a habit. Days pass, then years, and the story they live is written by hesitation instead of intention. Owning your story starts when you stop waiting for the perfect conditions and start taking daily action that improves your life, even when you feel uncertain, tired, or unprepared. Daily action is not about doing everything at once. It is about refusing to stay stuck. It is about choosing progress over comfort. The strongest people are not those with the most talent or luck. They are the ones who learned how to act consistently when emotions tried to pull them in different directions. When you commit to daily action, you stop being controlled by moods. You become guided by values. This is where real power begins. Many people misunderstand improvement. They think it requires massive effort, dramatic change, or constant intensity. That belief creates pressure, and pressure leads to avoidance. The truth is simpler and far more effective. Improvement comes from small actions done with seriousness. One focused action today has more power than 1,000 intentions for tomorrow. When you commit to daily action, you teach yourself self-respect. You prove that your life matters enough to invest effort into it every single day. The mind often resists action because action exposes reality. Thinking feels safe. Planning feels productive, but action forces you to confront your current level. That confrontation can be uncomfortable. You may notice weaknesses, inconsistency, or fear. Instead of seeing this as failure, see it as clarity. Clarity is a gift. It shows you exactly where to work. Daily action turns vague dissatisfaction into specific improvement. Stoic wisdom teaches that we cannot control outcomes, but we can control effort. This distinction matters. When you focus on results, you become anxious. When you focus on effort, you become grounded. Committing to daily action shifts your attention away from what you hope will happen and toward what you can do right now. This reduces stress and builds inner strength. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop asking how you feel and start asking what needs to be done. To commit to daily action, you must first decide what improvement actually means for you. Improvement is personal. It is not copying someone else's routine or chasing external approval. It is identifying areas of your life that feel neglected and choosing one small action to address them. This could be your health, your focus, your relationships, your finances, or your character. The key is honesty. If you choose actions that look impressive but avoid your real weaknesses, growth will stall. Start by choosing one area where daily effort would make your life slightly better. Then define one action that takes less than 30 minutes. This matters because consistency depends on realism. If your action feels overwhelming, you will avoid it. If it feels manageable, you will repeat it. Repetition builds identity. When you repeat an action daily, you stop seeing it as a task and start seeing it as part of who you are. Daily action requires structure, not motivation. Motivation fades. Structure remains. Decide when and where your daily action will happen. Tie it to an existing habit. For example, after waking up, before checking your phone, after a meal, or before sleeping. This removes decision fatigue. When the time comes, you act automatically. Over time, this discipline becomes internal. You no longer argue with yourself. You simply do what you committed to doing. Resistance will appear. It always does. Some days you will feel tired, bored, or doubtful. The mind will offer excuses that sound reasonable. This is where owning your story becomes real. You either accept the excuse and repeat the old pattern, or you act despite it. Action taken during resistance builds more strength than action taken when things feel easy. It teaches you that discomfort is not dangerous. It is temporary. You learn that you can move forward even when your emotions disagree. One powerful way to maintain daily action is to reduce the size of the task when resistance is high. Instead of skipping the action, lower the standard. If your goal is exercise and you feel exhausted, do 5 minutes instead of none. If your goal is learning and you feel distracted, read 1 page instead of avoiding it completely. This preserves the habit. Consistency matters more than intensity. Missing once is a mistake. Missing twice is the beginning of a pattern. Daily action also sharpens self-trust. Every time you follow through, you send a message to yourself that your word matters. Many people struggle with confidence, not because they lack ability, but because they repeatedly break promises to themselves. Confidence is built through evidence. Daily action provides that evidence. Over time, you stop doubting your ability to change because you see proof of effort stacking up. Improvement is not only about adding positive actions, it is also about removing behaviors that drain energy. Committing to daily action includes making conscious choices about what you will no longer tolerate. This might mean limiting screen time, avoiding unnecessary arguments, or stepping away from habits that waste hours. Removing one harmful behavior can improve your life as much as adding a good one. This requires awareness and courage, but the reward is clarity and calm. As you commit to daily action, pay attention to your internal dialogue. Many people speak to themselves in ways they would never speak to a friend. Harsh self-criticism drains energy and creates resistance. Stoic discipline does not mean self-punishment. It means honest assessment without emotional drama. When you fall short, acknowledge it calmly, correct the behavior, and move forward. Emotional overreaction keeps you stuck. Calm correction keeps you progressing. Daily action also teaches patience. Real improvement is slow. The mind wants immediate results. It wants confirmation that effort is worth it. This desire can lead to frustration. Instead of measuring progress by outcomes, measure it by adherence. Ask yourself whether you showed up today. Did you take the action you committed to? If the answer is yes, the day was a success. This mindset protects you from discouragement and keeps you consistent. Your environment plays a major role in daily action. If your surroundings are chaotic, distracting, or filled with temptation, discipline becomes harder. You do not need perfect conditions, but you should remove obvious obstacles. Prepare your environment to support action. Keep tools visible. Reduce distractions. Make the right action easier and the wrong action harder. This is not weakness. It is wisdom. Another important aspect of daily action is understanding that progress compounds. Small improvements accumulate. 1% better each day becomes a significant change over time. The mind often underestimates long-term effects because it focuses on short-term discomfort. When you commit to daily action, you align yourself with the power of accumulation. You may not notice change immediately, but weeks and months later, your life will feel different, stronger, clearer, more intentional. Daily action also builds emotional control. When you act regardless of mood, you stop being controlled by feelings. This does not mean ignoring emotions. It means not allowing them to dictate behavior. Over time, emotions become less intense because they are no longer reinforced by avoidance. You learn that you can feel discomfort and still function effectively. This is a core principle of resilience. It is important to remember that daily action does not mean constant productivity. Rest is part of improvement. Taking care of your body and mind allows you to sustain effort. Improvement includes sleeping well, eating properly, and allowing recovery. Discipline without balance leads to burnout. Balance without discipline leads to stagnation. Daily action finds the middle path. It respects limits while still demanding effort. As you move forward, reflect briefly at the end of each day. Ask yourself one simple question: did I take at least one action today that improved my life? If the answer is no, do not judge yourself. Identify what prevented action and adjust tomorrow. If the answer is yes, acknowledge it. This reflection builds awareness and reinforces commitment. Improvement thrives on feedback. Daily action also changes how you see time. Instead of seeing days as something to get through, you see them as opportunities to invest. Each day becomes a small building block. This mindset reduces anxiety about the future. You stop feeling behind because you are actively moving forward. You stop comparing because you are focused on your own path. Owning your story means accepting responsibility without self-blame. Responsibility gives you power, blame takes it away. When you commit to daily action, you accept that your life is shaped by what you do repeatedly. This realization can feel heavy at first, but it is ultimately freeing. You no longer wait to be saved. You become the person who shows up. There will be moments when progress feels invisible. Trust the process. Trust the discipline. Trust the quiet work. Growth often happens below the surface before it becomes visible. Many people quit during this phase because they mistake silence for failure. Those who persist discover that change was happening all along. Daily action also improves decision-making. When you act consistently, you gain clarity about what works and what does not. You stop guessing. You stop overthinking. Experience replaces speculation. This makes future actions more effective. You learn faster because you are engaged, not passive. As your commitment deepens, you may notice resistance from others or from your own old identity. People are comfortable with who you used to be. Change can challenge those expectations. Stay focused. Your responsibility is not to be understood by everyone. It is to live in alignment with your values. Daily action strengthens that alignment. Over time, the accumulation of daily actions creates momentum. Momentum reduces effort. What once required discipline becomes natural. You no longer force yourself. You simply follow the path you have built. This is how habits form. This is how character is shaped. This is how stories change. The ultimate reward of daily action is not external success. It is internal stability, knowing that regardless of circumstances, you will do what needs to be done. This confidence cannot be taken away. It does not depend on praise or results. It comes from self-mastery. At the end of the day, your life is not defined by intentions, emotions, or plans. It is defined by actions repeated over time. When you commit to daily action that improves your life, you reclaim authorship of your story. You stop reacting to circumstances and start shaping direction. You may move slowly, but you move with purpose. Today does not need to be extraordinary. It only needs to be intentional. Choose one action. Complete it fully. Then rest knowing you honored your commitment. Do this again tomorrow. Over time, this simple discipline will transform how you see yourself and what you believe is possible. This is how improvement begins. This is how power is built. This is how you own your story. Chapter 2. Build discipline by doing hard tasks daily. Discipline is not something you are born with, and it is not something you suddenly discover on a good day. Discipline is built slowly, through repeated contact with difficulty. It grows when you choose effort over ease, especially when no one is watching and nothing immediate is promised in return. Doing hard tasks daily is not about suffering for the sake of it. It is about training your mind to obey your decisions rather than your impulses. This is how strength becomes reliable instead of accidental. Most people avoid hard tasks because they associate difficulty with pain or failure. The mind naturally looks for comfort, shortcuts, and reassurance. This is not a flaw. It is human nature. The problem begins when comfort becomes the guiding force of daily life. When ease decides your actions, discipline fades. Life becomes reactive. You respond to whatever feels good or urgent, instead of what truly matters. Doing hard tasks daily reverses this pattern. It places choice back in your hands. A hard task is not defined by how impressive it looks to others. It is defined by resistance. It is the thing you delay, rationalize away, or promise to do later. It might be a difficult conversation, focused work, physical training, or sitting alone with your thoughts, instead of escaping into distraction. Hard tasks are personal. They expose where your discipline is weak and where growth is required. Discipline begins the moment you stop negotiating with yourself. Many people waste mental energy debating whether to act. They argue internally, creating stories about timing, readiness, or mood. This inner conflict drains focus before action even begins. When you commit to doing hard tasks daily, you reduce negotiation. You decide in advance that discomfort is acceptable. This clarity simplifies life. You act because it is time to act, not because you feel like it. Stoic wisdom teaches that the obstacle is part of the path. Difficulty is not a sign that something is wrong. It is evidence that something meaningful is happening. When you do hard tasks daily, you stop fearing resistance. You begin to expect it. Resistance becomes familiar, and familiarity reduces fear over time. Tasks that once felt not because they got easier, but because you got stronger. Discipline grows through exposure. Just as muscles grow by being challenged, discipline grows when tested. Avoiding difficulty weakens it. Facing difficulty strengthens it. This is why comfort cannot build discipline. Comfort maintains what already exists. Hard tasks force adaptation. They require focus, patience, and effort. These qualities develop only through use. One common mistake is waiting for the perfect mindset before starting a hard task. The truth is that the mindset follows action. Clarity often comes after effort, not before. When you begin despite resistance, the mind adjusts, focus sharpens, confidence increases. The hardest part is often once movement begins, momentum carries you forward. Doing hard tasks daily also reshapes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who avoids discomfort. You begin to see yourself as someone who can handle it. Identity matters because behavior follows identity. When you believe you are disciplined, you act with discipline. This belief is not built through affirmations but through evidence. Each completed hard task adds to that evidence. Hard tasks also reveal priorities. When time is limited and effort is required, what you choose to do shows what matters. Discipline is not about doing everything. It is about doing the right things consistently. By facing hard tasks, you clarify values. You learn what you are willing to struggle for. This clarity reduces distraction and regret. It is important to choose hard tasks wisely. Discipline is not punishment. Choosing unnecessary difficulty leads to burnout. The goal is purposeful challenge. Tasks should align with long-term improvement. Ask yourself whether the discomfort serves growth or merely proves toughness. True discipline is intelligent. It balances effort with direction. Daily hard tasks also improve emotional regulation. When you regularly do things that feel uncomfortable, emotions lose their power to control behavior. You learn that discomfort can exist without requiring immediate relief. This ability is crucial during stress and uncertainty. When life becomes difficult, disciplined individuals respond with action instead of panic. Another benefit of daily hard tasks is mental clarity. Avoidance creates mental noise. Unfinished tasks occupy attention and create low-level anxiety. Completing difficult tasks clears mental space. You feel lighter not because life is easy, but because nothing important is being avoided. This clarity improves focus in other areas of life. Hard tasks also teach patience. Results are often delayed. Discipline requires trusting effort without immediate reward. This patience builds resilience. You stop needing constant validation. You become comfortable working quietly. This internal stability is rare and valuable. Some days the hard task will feel overwhelming. On those days, discipline means adjusting effort, not abandoning it. You can reduce intensity without removing challenge. The key is consistency. Skipping hard tasks reinforces avoidance. Adjusting them preserves discipline. This distinction prevents all or nothing thinking. Daily hard tasks also expose excuses. The mind becomes creative when trying to avoid effort. It offers reasons that sound logical. Discipline involves recognizing these excuses without engaging them. You do not need to argue with every thought. You only need to act according to your decision. Thoughts pass, actions remain. Over time, doing hard tasks daily creates trust in yourself. You stop doubting whether you can follow through. This trust reduces anxiety about the future. You know that regardless of difficulty, you will act. This confidence is calm, not loud. It does not depend on circumstances. Hard tasks also improve self-respect. Respect comes from living in alignment with values. When you do what you know is necessary, even when it is uncomfortable, self-respect grows. This internal respect matters more than external approval. It creates a stable foundation for decision. Making discipline built through hard tasks also improves adaptability. When challenges arise unexpectedly, disciplined individuals adjust quickly. They are familiar with effort and problem solving. They do not freeze or complain excessively. They move forward. This adaptability is a major advantage in a changing world. It is important to acknowledge progress without becoming complacent. Discipline is maintained through continued effort. Past success does not guarantee future action. Each day requires recommitment. This is not a burden. It is a reminder that growth is active, not automatic. Doing hard tasks daily also strengthens focus. Difficulty demands attention. When you engage with challenging work, distractions lose appeal. You become present. This presence improves quality of effort and reduces wasted time. Over time, focus becomes sharper and more reliable. There will be days when discipline feels heavy. Accept this. Discipline is not about feeling good. It is about acting well. Emotions fluctuate. Values endure. Acting according to values provides long-term satisfaction, even when short-term discomfort is present. As discipline strengthens, you may notice a shift in how you approach life. Problems feel more manageable. Challenges feel less threatening. You trust yourself to respond effectively. This trust reduces fear and hesitation. You move with purpose. The practice of daily hard tasks also builds humility. Difficulty reminds you that improvement is ongoing. There is always more to learn and refine. This humility keeps you grounded and open to feedback. It prevents stagnation. At the same time, discipline builds quiet pride, not arrogance, but confidence rooted in effort. You know what you have faced. You know what you have completed. This knowledge stays with you even when no one else notices. Discipline does not remove struggle from life. It changes your relationship with it. Struggle becomes a signal for engagement rather than avoidance. You meet it with effort instead of fear. This shift changes everything. In the end, doing hard tasks daily is not about becoming harsh or rigid. It is about becoming dependable. Dependable to yourself, dependable in action. This dependability creates freedom. When you can rely on yourself, fewer things control you. Each hard task completed is a vote for the person you are becoming. Over time, those votes add up. Discipline becomes part of your character, not because life is easy, but because you have trained yourself to meet difficulty with action. This is how strength is built. This is how discipline becomes permanent. Chapter 3. Practice reflection each night to correct mistakes. Growth does not happen only during action, it also happens during stillness. Many people rush through their days collecting experiences without ever examining them. They move from one task to the next, one emotion to another, carrying unresolved thoughts forward. Over time, this creates confusion, repeated mistakes, and emotional weight. Practicing reflection each night interrupts this pattern. It gives you the chance to pause, observe, and adjust. This simple habit quietly shapes character and sharpens judgment. Nightly reflection is not about self-criticism. It is about clarity. It is the practice of looking at the day honestly without drama. When you reflect, you step out of the role of actor and into the role of observer. This distance allows you to see patterns that were invisible during the rush of the day. You begin to notice where you reacted instead of responded, where you avoided instead of acted, and where you wasted energy instead of directing it. Most mistakes repeat because they go unexamined. The mind moves on quickly, especially when something feels uncomfortable. Reflection slows that escape. It invites accountability, not the harsh kind that punishes, but the calm kind that teaches. Each night becomes a quiet classroom where experience turns into wisdom. Stoic thinkers believe that an unexamined day weakens the mind. Reflection strengthens it. When you review your actions, you reclaim ownership of them. You stop blaming circumstances or other people. You focus on what was within your control. This shift is powerful. It transforms mistakes from sources of shame into tools for improvement. Reflection also builds emotional awareness. During the day, emotions often guide behavior before thought can intervene. At night, emotions settle. This calm makes analysis possible. You can trace actions back to emotional triggers. You might notice impatience leading to harsh words or fear leading to avoidance. Recognizing these links gives you leverage. You cannot change what you do not see. The practice does not require long journaling or complex systems. It requires sincerity. A few minutes of honest thought is enough. Ask yourself simple questions. What did I do well today? Where did I fall short? What could I handle better tomorrow? These questions create direction without overwhelm. They keep the focus on improvement. Reflection also protects against self-deception. The mind is skilled at justifying behavior. It rewrites events to preserve comfort. Nightly reflection challenges these stories. It invites truth, not absolute truth, but a clearer version than the one created by impulse. This honesty strengthens integrity. You become someone who faces reality rather than reshapes it to avoid discomfort. Another benefit of reflection is emotional closure. Many people carry unresolved moments into sleep, regret, anger, or embarrassment. Linger reflection allows you to process these emotions consciously. You acknowledge what happened. You accept responsibility where needed. You release what cannot be changed. This reduces mental noise and improves rest. A clear mind sleeps better. Correcting mistakes begins with naming them accurately. Reflection helps refine language. Instead of saying the day was bad, you identify specific actions that were ineffective. This specificity matters. Vague dissatisfaction leads to vague improvement. Clear observation leads to precise correction. Reflection also reinforces positive behavior. It is easy to overlook small wins. The mind naturally focuses on problems. By acknowledging what went right, you strengthen confidence and motivation. You remind yourself that effort matters and progress is happening. This balanced view prevents discouragement. Practicing reflection consistently also improves decision making. When you review outcomes, you begin to see which choices lead to better results. This feedback loop sharpens judgment. Over time, you make fewer repeated mistakes. Because lessons are absorbed quickly, experience becomes education rather than repetition. Nightly reflection also slows impulsive behavior over time. When you know you will review your actions later, you act with more awareness during the day. This quiet accountability influences choices. You pause before reacting. You consider consequences. This is not fear. It is foresight. Reflection builds patience with yourself. Growth is uneven. Some days will be messy. Reflection helps you see progress across time instead of judging isolated moments. You learn to measure improvement in trends rather than single events. This long view supports resilience. It is important to reflect without exaggeration. Avoid turning small mistakes into personal failures. Stoic reflection is calm and proportional. You assess actions, not identity. You correct behavior, not attack character. This distinction keeps reflection constructive. Reflection also reveals priorities. How you spent time shows what you value in practice, not theory. Nightly review exposes gaps between intention and behavior. This awareness allows realignment. You adjust tomorrow based on today's reality. Another advantage of reflection is learning restraint. When you examine situations where silence or patience would have served better, you train restraint. This reduces future regret. You become less reactive because you recognize the cost of impulsive responses. Reflection also strengthens memory. Lessons stick when reviewed. Without reflection, experiences fade without leaving insight. With reflection, even ordinary days contribute to wisdom. Nothing is wasted. Every day becomes useful. Some nights' reflection will feel uncomfortable. This discomfort is a sign of honesty. Do not rush away from it. Sit with it briefly. Discomfort points to areas of growth. Avoiding it delays improvement. Facing it accelerates it. Reflection should end with intention, not a long plan, just one adjustment. One behavior to change, one attitude to refine. This keeps reflection practical. It connects insight to action. Without this step, reflection remains theoretical. Over time, nightly reflection builds self-mastery. You become familiar with your patterns. Surprises decrease. Awareness increases. This familiarity creates control, not rigid control, but steady influence over behavior. Reflection also nurtures humility. You see how often small choices matter. You recognize that improvement is ongoing. This humility keeps learning alive. It prevents complacency. At the same time, reflection builds self-respect. You take your life seriously enough to examine it. You do not drift aimlessly. You correct course daily. This care for your own growth creates quiet confidence. Reflection is a private practice. It does not need approval. Its value comes from consistency. Even 5 minutes nightly compounds over time. Weeks of reflection turn into clarity. Months turn into wisdom. In a world that rewards speed and noise, reflection feels countercultural. Yet it is essential. Action without reflection leads to repetition. Reflection without action leads to stagnation. Together, they create progress. As this practice becomes habitual, you may notice greater calm. Problems feel managed. Emotions feel less overwhelming. You understand yourself better. This understanding reduces inner conflict. Each night becomes a reset. You close the day consciously instead of carrying it forward unconsciously. This closure protects tomorrow from yesterday's mistakes. Practicing reflection each night is an act of self-leadership. You guide yourself with honesty and patience. You learn from what is instead of wishing for what was. This discipline quietly transforms behavior and mindset. In the long run, the person who reflects daily grows faster and suffers less. Mistakes become brief lessons instead of long detours. Awareness replaces confusion. Direction replaces drift. This is how small daily reflection builds a stronger life. Chapter 4. Strengthen focus by removing distractions from routines. Focus is not something you force into existence through willpower alone. It is something you protect by design. Most people believe they lack focus when the truth is that their attention is constantly being pulled apart. Every interruption, trains the mind to scatter. Every unnecessary distraction weakens the ability to stay present. Strengthening focus begins not with trying harder, but with removing what quietly steals attention from your daily routines. The modern environment is built to fragment the mind. Notifications interrupt thought. Endless information competes for attention. Multitasking is praised even though it damages depth. When the mind is repeatedly pulled away, it loses the ability to stay with one thing long enough to do it well. Focus fades not because of weakness, but because of constant exposure to distraction. Removing distractions is an act of respect toward your own time and energy. It sends a clear message that your attention matters. This decision is not about isolation or extreme discipline. It is about intentional structure. When routines are cluttered with unnecessary inputs, even simple tasks feel heavy. When routines are clean, effort flows naturally. Focus improves when routines are simplified. Many distractions are not obvious. They hide inside habits, checking messages while working, switching tasks frequently, keeping unnecessary tabs open. These behaviors seem small, but they train the mind to expect constant stimulation. Over time, stillness feels uncomfortable. Removing these habits restores mental calm. One of the most effective ways to strengthen focus is to reduce choices. Decision-making drains attention. When routines require frequent decisions, focus weakens before meaningful work begins. By fixing certain actions to specific times, you reduce cognitive load. You no longer decide when to work, reflect, or rest. You simply follow structure. This frees mental energy for deeper concentration. Distraction often enters through devices, but the root is emotional. Many distractions are escapes from discomfort. Boredom, uncertainty, or difficulty trigger avoidance. Recognizing this changes the approach. Instead of fighting distraction directly, you learn to sit with discomfort briefly. This tolerance strengthens focus more than any productivity tool. Stoic discipline emphasizes control over attention. What you attend to shapes your inner world. When attention is scattered, the mind feels restless. When attention is directed, the mind feels grounded. Removing distractions is not about controlling the world. It is about choosing where your attention rests. Focus strengthens when boundaries are clear. This includes boundaries with people, technology, and even your own impulses. If everything is allowed access to your attention, nothing receives it fully. Setting limits is not selfish. It is necessary for meaningful work and calm thinking. Routines become powerful when they are distraction-free. A routine filled with interruptions is not a routine. It is a sequence of broken moments. Removing distractions turns routine into ritual. Actions gain depth. Time feels fuller. This shift improves both performance and satisfaction. Another hidden distraction is mental clutter. Unresolved tasks, unclear goals, and unfinished conversations occupy attention even when you are not actively thinking about them. Writing things down, clarifying next steps, and closing loops reduces this internal noise. Focus improves when the mind is not carrying unnecessary weight. Removing distractions also requires honesty. Some habits feel productive but are not. Excessive planning, constant learning without application, or consuming motivational content instead of acting can all become distractions. They create the illusion of progress. Focus returns when action replaces consumption. Silence plays a role in focus. Constant background noise prevents deep thought. Creating periods of quiet allows the mind to settle. This does not require total silence, but intentional reduction. Even small changes like working without audio or stepping away from screens make a difference. Focus also improves when routines align with energy levels. Forcing deep work during low energy periods increases distraction. Understanding when your mind is naturally alert allows better scheduling. This alignment reduces resistance and improves quality of attention. Removing distractions is not a one-time task. It is an ongoing practice. New distractions appear as life changes. Regularly reviewing routines keeps them clean. Ask what interrupts focus and whether it truly serves you. If not, remove or limit it. The benefit of focus extends beyond productivity. It improves emotional stability. A focused mind is less reactive. It responds instead of jumping impulsively. This calm strengthens decision-making and reduces regret. Focus also deepens experience. When attention is fully present, even simple tasks feel meaningful. Life feels less rushed. Moments are not blurred together. This presence improves satisfaction and reduces the constant urge for more stimulation. Some distractions come from fear of stillness. Stillness exposes thoughts. Removing distractions may initially feel uncomfortable. This discomfort fades with practice. The mind adapts, calm becomes familiar, focus becomes natural. Over time, removing distractions builds confidence. You trust yourself to stay with tasks. You complete what you start. This reliability strengthens self-respect. You become someone who finishes rather than someone who fragments effort. Focus also improves learning. When attention is undivided, understanding deepens, information is retained, skills develop faster. This efficiency reduces frustration and accelerates progress. Another benefit is time expansion. When distractions are removed, time feels fuller. Hours are not lost to scattered attention. Days feel purposeful. This sense of control reduces anxiety about the future. Removing distractions also clarifies values. What you choose to protect reveals what matters. When you consistently remove what distracts, you reinforce priorities through action. This alignment creates inner coherence. It is important to remove distractions gradually. Drastic changes often fail. Start with one routine, clean it, protect it. Once focus strengthens there, extend the practice. Sustainable change respects adaptation. As focus improves, you may notice less need for stimulation. Quiet becomes comfortable, depth becomes satisfying. This shift is subtle but powerful. It changes how you relate to work and rest. Focus is not about intensity, it is about presence. Removing distractions allows presence to emerge naturally. You stop forcing concentration and start experiencing it. In the end, strengthening focus by removing distractions is an act of self-mastery. You choose clarity over noise, direction over drift, attention over impulse. This choice reshapes routines and, over time, reshapes character. A focused life is not a busy life. It is a deliberate one. Chapter 5. Improve health through simple movement and rest. Health is not built through extremes. It is built through respect for the body and consistency in care. Many people think improvement requires intense workouts, strict routines, or constant strain. This belief often leads to exhaustion or abandonment. Real health improves when movement and rest are treated as daily necessities rather than occasional efforts. Simple movement keeps the body awake. Proper rest allows it to repair. Together they create balance, strength, and endurance over time. The body is designed to move. When movement is ignored, energy stagnates. Muscles weaken. Posture collapses. The mind becomes restless. Simple movement restores circulation and alertness. It does not need to be complex. Walking, stretching, light strength work, or controlled breathing all count. What matters is regular engagement. Movement tells the body it is needed. This message maintains vitality. Rest is equally important. Without rest, effort becomes damage. Many people, they push through exhaustion and ignore signals. Over time, this leads to burnout, illness, or injury. Rest is not laziness, it is maintenance. When you rest properly, the body adapts to effort. Muscles repair, hormones regulate, the nervous system calms. Improving health through simple movement begins with removing pressure. You do not need perfect form, special equipment, or long sessions. You need consistency. A short walk daily improves circulation and mood. Gentle stretching maintains mobility. Light resistance preserves strength. These actions seem small, but they compound. Movement also improves mental clarity. Physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, thoughts organize, stress reduces. Many emotional problems intensify when the body is stagnant. Moving the body helps process tension. It clears mental fog and improves focus. Rest supports emotional regulation. Sleep restores balance. Without it, patience declines and judgment weakens. Poor rest magnifies stress and reduces resilience. Improving rest improves decision making and mood. It allows you to respond instead of react. Simple movement and rest work together. Movement creates healthy fatigue. Rest restores capacity. Skipping either disrupts balance. Too much movement without rest drains energy. Too much rest without movement dulls the body. Balance creates strength. Health improves when routines respect natural rhythms. The body responds well to regular sleep and consistent movement times. Irregular schedules confuse internal systems. Predictability supports recovery and energy. Even small adjustments like consistent sleep hours make a difference. Movement does not need to be intense to be effective. Intensity is optional. Consistency is essential. Daily movement maintains joints, muscles, and circulation. It reduces stiffness and improves posture. Over time, it preserves independence and confidence. Rest also includes mental rest. Constant stimulation prevents recovery. Screens, noise, and information overload keep the nervous system active. Creating quiet moments allows the mind to reset. This improves sleep quality and emotional stability. Health habits should be sustainable. Extreme routines fail because they ignore reality. Simple movement and rest fit into real life. They adapt to busy schedules and changing energy levels. This adaptability ensures long-term consistency. Movement also builds self-trust. When you care for your body daily, you reinforce respect for yourself. This respect influences other behaviors. You become less likely to neglect sleep, nutrition, or boundaries. Health habits ripple outward. Rest teaches patience. It reminds you that progress requires pauses. The body improves during recovery, not during effort. Accepting this reduces guilt around rest. You rest intentionally rather than collapsing from exhaustion. Health improves when you listen to signals. Tension, fatigue, and pain are messages. Ignoring them delays improvement. Responding appropriately prevents injury. Simple adjustments protect long-term health. Movement also supports posture and breathing. Sitting for long periods compresses the body. Gentle movement reverses this. Deep breathing during movement calms the nervous system. This combination reduces stress and improves energy. Rest improves immune function. Sleep allows the body to defend and repair. Chronic sleep deprivation weakens resistance. Protecting rest protects health. This foundation supports every other effort. Simple movement also maintains balance and coordination. These qualities decline without use. Preserving them reduces risk of injury. It supports confidence in daily activities. Health is not about appearance. It is about function. Feeling capable. Feeling steady. Simple movement improves daily function. Rest ensures recovery. Together they support longevity. Movement can be integrated into daily life. Walking instead of sitting, stretching during breaks, standing periodically, these small choices accumulate. They require little effort but offer significant benefits. Rest includes boundaries, knowing when to stop, knowing when to slow down. Overworking the body weakens it. Respecting limits preserves strength. This discipline prevents long-term setbacks. Health habits influence mood. Movement releases tension. Rest restores calm. Together, they stabilize emotions. This stability improves relationships and work. Improving health through simple movement and rest requires letting go of comparison. Everyone's body responds differently. Focus on your own signals. Progress is personal. Consistency matters more than speed. The body rewards care. When you move regularly and rest properly, energy increases, pain decreases, mood improves. These changes reinforce habits. Health becomes self-sustaining. Rest also improves memory and learning. The brain consolidates information. Without rest, learning slows. Health supports growth beyond the physical. Movement supports digestion and metabolism. It keeps systems active. Rest regulates hormones. This balance supports overall well-being. Health habits should feel supportive, not punishing. Simple movement feels manageable. Rest feels deserved. This emotional relationship ensures consistency. Over time, these practices reshape identity. You see yourself as someone who cares for health. This identity influences choices automatically. Health is not built in dramatic moments. It is built quietly through daily respect. Simple movement keeps the body engaged. Rest allows it to recover. Together they create resilience. When health improves, life feels more manageable. Challenges feel less overwhelming. Energy supports discipline and focus. In the end, improving health through simple movement and rest is about honoring the body as a partner, not a tool. Care it consistently, listen to it honestly, support it daily. This steady approach builds strength that lasts. Chapter 6. Train emotional control during pressure and uncertainty. Pressure and uncertainty are not rare events in life. They are constant conditions. Anyone waiting for calm circumstances before learning emotional control will wait forever. Emotional control is not about suppressing feelings or pretending nothing affects you. It is about learning how to respond with clarity when emotions rise and the situation feels unstable. This skill determines whether pressure sharpens you or breaks you. Most people lose control, not because situations are impossible, but because emotions arrive faster than awareness. Fear, anger, frustration, and anxiety appear suddenly, and behavior follows before thought can intervene. Training emotional control means creating space between stimulus and response. That space is where power lives. Without it, reactions write your story for you. Uncertainty triggers the mind's need for certainty. When answers are missing, the imagination fills the gap with worst-case scenarios. This mental noise drains energy and distorts judgment. Emotional control begins with recognizing that uncertainty itself is not dangerous. It is discomforting, but not harmful. The danger comes from impulsive decisions made to escape that discomfort. Pressure exposes emotional habits. Under stress, people revert to defaults. Some become aggressive, some withdraw, some seek distraction. Training emotional control requires observing these patterns without judgment. Awareness is the first layer of mastery. You cannot change what you refuse to see. Control starts with the body. Emotions are not only thoughts, they are physical responses. Heart rate increases, muscles tense, breathing shortens. When pressure rises, the body reacts before the mind explains. Slowing the breath sends a signal of safety. This simple action reduces intensity and restores access to reason. Calm breathing is not passive, it is strategic. Another key is learning to name emotions accurately. Vague labels like stress or bad hide useful information. Are you afraid of loss? Are you angry about disrespect? Are you anxious about uncertainty? Precision reduces intensity. When emotions are named clearly, they feel manageable instead of overwhelming. Emotional control also requires accepting emotions without obeying them. Feelings are signals, not commands. Fear suggests caution, not paralysis. Anger signals boundaries, not aggression. Sadness signals loss, not collapse. When emotions are treated as information rather than orders, behavior improves. Pressure often creates urgency. Urgency tempts shortcuts. Emotional control slows urgency. It asks whether action is necessary now or whether patience would produce better results. Many mistakes are made not because action was wrong, but because timing was poor. Stoic discipline teaches that events themselves are neutral. Interpretation creates emotional charge. When pressure arises, examine the story you are telling yourself. Are you assuming permanent damage from temporary difficulty? Are you exaggerating consequences? Questioning interpretation weakens emotional intensity. Emotional control strengthens when you stop seeking relief and start seeking stability. Relief is immediate, but temporary. Stability is earned but lasting. When you tolerate discomfort without escaping it, the nervous system adapts. What once felt unbearable becomes manageable. Training under small pressures prepares you for larger ones. Do not wait for crisis. Practice control during minor frustrations, delays, criticism, unexpected changes. These moments are training grounds. Each controlled response builds capacity. Another aspect of control is choosing silence. Silence prevents regret. When emotions are high, words spoken impulsively often cause damage. Pausing before speaking preserves relationships and self-respect. Silence is not weakness. It is restraint. Emotional control also improves when expectations are realistic. Many emotional reactions come from unmet expectations rather than actual harm. Adjusting expectations reduces disappointment. Accepting that life includes delays, mistakes, and resistance builds resilience. Uncertainty often triggers the need to control outcomes. Emotional control shifts focus from outcome to effort. You cannot control results, but you can control preparation and response. This focus reduces anxiety and increases effectiveness. Pressure reveals attachment. The more attached you are to a specific outcome, the stronger the emotional reaction when it is threatened. Reducing attachment does not mean apathy. It means flexibility. Flexibility allows adjustment without emotional collapse. Training emotional control also involves reviewing reactions after the fact. Reflection reveals what escalated emotions and what reduced them. This feedback refines future responses. Improvement becomes intentional. Emotional control strengthens decision-making when emotions dominate. Decisions become short-sighted. When emotions are regulated, choices align with values. This alignment reduces regret and builds trust in yourself. Another element is physical readiness. Lack of sleep, poor nutrition, and exhaustion weaken emotional control. Caring for the body supports regulation. Emotional discipline is harder when the body is depleted. Emotional control also benefits from perspective. Pressure feels intense when viewed narrowly. Expanding perspective reduces intensity. Ask whether this situation will matter long term. This does not dismiss importance. It restores proportion. Training control does not remove emotions. It changes relationship with them. You feel emotions without being consumed. This balance allows authenticity without chaos. Emotional control also improves communication. Calm responses de-escalate conflict. Others respond better to steadiness than intensity. This improves outcomes in personal and professional situations. Uncertainty is a permanent condition in life. Those who require certainty before acting remain stuck. Emotional control allows action without guarantees. You move forward despite incomplete information. Another skill is delaying reaction. Immediate reactions are rarely optimal. Giving yourself even a brief pause improves quality of response. Time is an ally in emotional regulation. Emotional control builds self-respect. You trust yourself to handle pressure without self-sabotage. This trust reduces fear of future challenges. Training control also reduces energy waste. Emotional spirals consume attention and strength. Regulation conserves resources for meaningful action. Pressure will never disappear. Uncertainty will never vanish. Control is not about eliminating these forces. It is about standing steady within them. As control improves, confidence grows quietly. You know that even if situations become difficult, you will not lose yourself. This knowledge creates calm strength. Emotional control also reduces impulsive habits. When emotions are regulated, the urge to escape through distraction weakens. Discipline strengthens naturally. This training requires patience. Progress is gradual. Some days will be better than others. Consistency matters more than perfection. Each controlled response is a small victory. Over time, These victories accumulate into resilience. In the end, training emotional control during pressure and uncertainty is about leadership of self. You guide behavior with intention rather than impulse. This mastery shapes outcomes, protects dignity, and strengthens character. When emotions no longer dictate your actions, you truly own your responses. Chapter 7. Learn something useful daily and apply immediately. Learning is only powerful when it changes behavior. Information by itself does nothing. Many people consume ideas endlessly but remain the same because knowledge never reaches action. Learning something useful daily and applying it immediately closes that gap. It turns growth from theory into reality. This practice transforms learning into a living process rather than most people confuse learning with collecting information. They read, watch, listen, and scroll, believing they are improving. In truth, they are postponing change. Real learning is uncomfortable because it demands application. Application exposes weakness. It reveals gaps between understanding and ability. This exposure is necessary. Without it, learning remains shallow. Daily learning does not mean overwhelming yourself with content. It means choosing one useful idea that can improve your actions today. Usefulness is the filter. If the information cannot be applied within hours, it is likely not needed right now. This discipline keeps learning grounded and relevant. Immediate application reinforces memory. The brain retains what it uses. Ideas that are applied become skills. Skills become habits. Habits shape outcomes. When learning is followed by action, progress accelerates. Time spent learning produces visible results. Learning also builds confidence when applied. Knowledge that stays theoretical creates doubt. You know what should be done, but lack evidence that you can do it. Application provides proof. Each applied lesson strengthens self-trust. Another benefit is clarity. Many concepts seem confusing until tested. Action simplifies complexity. You understand what works by doing. Mistakes provide feedback. Feedback refines understanding. This loop deepens learning far more than repetition of information. Learning daily keeps the mind flexible. It prevents stagnation. Even small lessons expand perspective. Over time, adaptability increases. You respond better to change because learning is already part of your routine. Immediate application also prevents procrastination disguised as preparation. Many people delay action by claiming they need more knowledge. This delay protects comfort. Applying what you know reveals that improvement comes from practice, not perfection. Learning does not require formal study. Life offers lessons constantly. Conversations, mistakes, observations, and challenges all contain information. Awareness turns experience into education. When you ask what can be learned today, attention sharpens. Usefulness matters more than volume. One applied idea beats 10 remembered facts. This focus reduces overwhelm. You stop chasing endless content. You choose depth over breadth. Learning also improves problem solving. Each applied lesson adds tools. Over time, you recognize patterns. Solutions emerge faster. This efficiency reduces frustration. Applying learning immediately also creates momentum. Action energizes. Progress feels tangible. This momentum encourages continued effort. Learning becomes rewarding instead of burdensome. There is also humility in application. You accept that understanding is incomplete. You allow reality to teach you. This humility accelerates growth. Arrogance blocks learning. Learning daily also sharpens attention. When you intend to apply knowledge, you listen differently. You look for relevance. Distractions lose appeal. Focus improves naturally. Application does not need to be perfect. Imperfect action teaches more than perfect planning. Adjustments come after feedback. Waiting for certainty delays growth. Learning also strengthens discipline. Committing to daily application requires follow. Through this consistency builds reliability. You become someone who acts on insight. Another benefit is adaptability. Immediate application forces you to adjust ideas to real conditions. This flexibility makes learning practical. You stop seeking ideal circumstances. Learning daily also prevents stagnation in routine. Even stable habits benefit from refinement. Small improvements compound. Learning keeps habits alive and responsive. Applying knowledge also improves communication. You speak from experience rather than theory. This authenticity builds credibility. Others respond better to lived understanding. Learning is most effective when paired with reflection. After applying an idea, observe results. What worked? What did not? This evaluation sharpens judgment. Learning becomes iterative. Daily learning also reduces fear of failure. When application is frequent, mistakes feel normal. You stop attaching identity to outcomes. Failure becomes data. Learning useful things also saves time. Applied knowledge prevents repeated mistakes. You move forward with fewer detours. Efficiency improves. Immediate application also strengthens memory pathways. The brain prioritizes information linked to action. Retention increases without extra effort. Learning daily builds resilience. New challenges feel manageable because you trust your ability to learn and adapt. This confidence reduces anxiety. Another aspect is discernment. Not all information deserves attention. Daily application reveals which ideas matter. Noise is filtered out. Learning also fuels creativity. Applied knowledge combines in unexpected ways. New solutions emerge. Creativity thrives on use, not storage. Learning daily aligns with self-respect. You treat your potential seriously. You invest in growth consistently. This respect reinforces motivation. Immediate application also creates accountability. You cannot hide behind knowledge. Action reveals commitment. This honesty strengthens integrity. Learning becomes sustainable when tied to life. Abstract study fades. Practical learning sticks. This sustainability supports long-term growth. Daily learning also sharpens values. You choose what to learn based on goals. This alignment keeps growth intentional. Application also improves emotional regulation. You see results from disciplined behavior. Confidence replaces hesitation. Learning daily reduces dependency on external guidance. You become self-directed. This independence strengthens leadership. Even small lessons matter. One insight applied today can prevent a mistake tomorrow. Over time, these savings add up. Learning daily also enhances awareness. You notice cause and effect. This awareness improves decision-making. Immediate application builds courage. Acting on new ideas requires stepping into uncertainty. This courage grows with practice. Learning also improves patience. Skills develop over time. Application teaches respect for process. Daily learning transforms routine into growth. Each day contributes to improvement. This accumulation builds momentum. Learning becomes part of identity. You see yourself as adaptable and capable. This identity influences choices automatically. In the end, learning something useful daily and applying it immediately turns life into an active classroom. You stop waiting to be ready. You learn by doing. Knowledge becomes action. Action becomes progress. Progress becomes character. This practice ensures that growth is not occasional. Chapter 8. Replace bad habits with better daily behaviors. Bad habits are small decisions repeated until they become automatic. They steal energy, focus, and potential without demanding attention. Most people tolerate them because they are familiar, easy, or comforting. The path to improvement begins when bad habits are identified and consciously replaced with better daily behaviors. Transformation is not about elimination alone, it is about substitution. The mind and body cannot operate on void. They need direction. Replacing habits shapes behavior while preserving momentum. Understanding a bad habit requires observation. Notice when it occurs, what triggers it, and what reward it delivers. Habits rarely appear randomly. They follow cues in environment, emotion, or routine. Awareness reveals patterns. Without this insight, change is guesswork. You must know what you are replacing before you can do it effectively. Replacement is not punishment. Simply stopping a habit often fails because the underlying drive remains. The energy behind the habit needs an outlet. Better behaviors provide that outlet. This is the practical principle behind lasting change. A habit removed without substitution leaves a void that will be filled, often by old behaviors resurfacing. Start small. Radical change often collapses under resistance. Focus on one habit at a time. Identify a specific behavior to replace it with. For example, if the habit is scrolling aimlessly in the evening, replace it with reading, stretching, or a short walk. Small actions compound when repeated consistently. Consistency is essential. Habits are formed and replaced through repetition. One-off efforts do not rewire the mind. Each day presents a choice, an opportunity to reinforce the new behavior. The more consistent the replacement, the faster the old habit loses influence. Environmental control strengthens change. Habits thrive where cues remain unchecked. If snacks are replaced with healthier options in a visible and accessible way, choices align with intention. If distractions are removed, focus increases. Adjusting the environment supports the replacement. Without relying solely on willpower, emotional triggers must also be addressed. Many habits serve to regulate emotion. Anxiety, boredom, stress, and reward seeking often drive behavior automatically. New behaviors should satisfy the same underlying need in a healthier way. This reduces resistance and makes change sustainable. Accountability reinforces transformation. Sharing intentions with someone trustworthy increases commitment. External observation reminds the mind of promises made. Combined with self-monitoring, accountability strengthens habit replacement. Reflection is crucial. Each day, review whether the replacement behavior was executed. Celebrate successes. Analyze lapses without judgment. Identify moments when the old habit returned and why. This awareness improves strategy. Change becomes adaptive rather than rigid. Patience is required. The mind resists change because old habits are comfortable and automatic. New behaviors take time to reach the same automaticity. Frequent repetition and reinforcement gradually overwrite previous patterns. Persistence is more effective than intensity. Behavioral replacement also influences identity. Doing a better action repeatedly signals who you are becoming over time. Identity aligns with new habits. You no longer see the old behavior as normal. Identity-driven change reduces reliance on effort alone. Replace habits in context of routine. Habits embedded in sequences are stronger. Interrupting the sequence or inserting a healthier action at the same cue makes adoption easier. Timing, context, and trigger consistency amplify results. Tracking progress supports momentum. Visual cues, journals, or checklists create tangible evidence. Seeing success reinforces motivation. Progress becomes measurable rather than abstract. Replacement habits should offer reward. Even subtle satisfaction reinforces behavior. The brain learns by reward without reinforcement. Change stalls. Positive feedback for healthier actions strengthens neural pathways, gradually supplanting old patterns. Mindfulness improves effectiveness. Being present during replacement actions increases awareness and prevents automatic relapse. Mindless behavior reinforces old patterns. Conscious engagement accelerates transformation. Flexibility matters. Some days will fail. Replace lapses quickly without guilt. Punishment reinforces shame, which hinders progress. Each moment is an opportunity to practice the better behavior. This mindset converts mistakes into lessons. Social environment influences habit change. Surrounding yourself with people who model or support better behaviors increases success. Habits are contagious. Positive examples reinforce new patterns and reduce temptation. Replacement behaviors also strengthen decision-making. When practiced daily, they train the mind to choose intentionally rather than automatically. Repetition conditions the mind to favor constructive responses to familiar triggers. Habit replacement creates cumulative advantage. Small daily actions accumulate, producing significant changes over months and years. Energy, focus, and efficiency improve as destructive routines fade. Life becomes more manageable and purposeful. Some habits require layered change. Complex behaviors may involve multiple triggers or emotional drivers. Addressing one element at a time while reinforcing supportive behavior ensures progress without overwhelm. Visualization enhances habit replacement. Mentally rehearsing the desired action prepares the mind and body for execution. This primes behavior and reduces hesitation. Visualization paired with immediate practice accelerates learning. Replacing habits also improves resilience. Each successful substitution demonstrates capability. You learn to redirect impulses instead of surrendering to them. Confidence in self-control increases and becomes transferable to other areas of life. Reflection on why habits exist fosters insight. Some behaviors were formed for survival, comfort, or social adaptation. Understanding their origin prevents self-blame and clarifies the need for replacement. Insight strengthens resolve. Rewarding small wins matters. Celebrating adherence to new behaviors reinforces commitment. Small acknowledgement compounds over time, making change emotionally sustainable. Replacing bad habits reshapes energy use. Destructive behaviors often drain focus, motivation, and emotional stability. New behaviors redirect this energy toward growth and competence. This efficiency improves performance and satisfaction. The process also reveals personal limits. Change is easier when applied gradually and within capacity. Overextending attempts creates fatigue, increasing risk of reverting to old patterns. Strategic pacing ensures durability. Replacement habits must be actionable. Intentions alone are insufficient. The action must be specific, feasible, and repeatable. Broad goals like be healthier fail, narrow, clear behaviors succeed. Account for triggers proactively. Anticipate moments of weakness and prepare alternative responses. Planning for high-risk situations reduces lapses and reinforces self-trust. Replacing habits also strengthens patience with self. Change is incremental. Rapid transformation is rare. Understanding this maintains morale and reduces frustration. Gradual habit replacement changes perception of effort. Actions that once felt difficult become routine. The mind adapts to new standards. Resistance decreases over time. Replacement behaviors should align with long-term goals. Immediate change without strategic direction may improve short-term behavior but does not support growth. Alignment ensures habits serve purpose, not impulse daily. Reinforcement trains neural pathways. Old habits weaken as new patterns become stronger. Consistency produces automaticity without force. The brain adapts efficiently to repeated behavior. Replacement habits also foster self-discipline. Choosing actions aligned with goals over old impulses strengthens self-regulation. This control spreads to other areas, reinforcing overall growth. In the end, replacing bad habits with better daily behaviors is not punishment or denial. It is strategic redirection of energy toward improvement. Each small choice, repeated consistently, rewires the mind, strengthens character, and transforms life. Mastery over habits is mastery over self, creating freedom, effectiveness, and resilience. Chapter 9. Set clear goals each day and review progress. Setting clear goals each day is a cornerstone of personal growth. Without direction, energy scatters and effort loses meaning. Many people drift through routines without intentionality, assuming progress happens automatically. Daily goal setting transforms vague intentions into concrete action. It provides clarity, focus, and measurable outcomes that guide behavior and maintain momentum. When goals are defined, the mind knows where to invest attention. Effort becomes efficient, and results become predictable. The first step in daily goal setting is clarity. A goal must be specific and actionable. Do better today is insufficient. It is abstract and unmeasurable. Instead, define what better looks like in practice. Identify one or two meaningful tasks that contribute to long-term objectives. Specificity ensures your mind can direct energy effectively. Goals also create accountability. When you write down or articulate daily intentions, the mind registers them as commitments. This internal contract reduces procrastination and strengthens follow-through. The act of recording goals signals seriousness. It moves thoughts from abstract desire to tangible plan. Reviewing progress is equally essential. Goals alone without reflection allow errors and inefficiency to persist. At the end of the day, examine what was accomplished and what was missed. Honest assessment highlights strengths and weaknesses. Without this feedback, habits cannot improve, and mistakes repeat unnoticed. Daily goals break complex ambitions into manageable pieces. Large aspirations often feel overwhelming. Attempting to tackle them without structure leads to stagnation. By setting small daily objectives, progress accumulates gradually. Incremental wins reinforce confidence and build momentum toward larger ambitions. Another critical aspect is prioritization. Not all goals hold equal value. Choose daily targets that produce meaningful impact rather than busy work. Focus on tasks that move the needle. This ensures energy is spent where it matters most. Clarity also improves decision-making. When a goal is defined, choices throughout the day can be filtered through it. Distractions lose appeal. Temptations are weighed against objectives. This alignment reduces wasted energy and increases efficiency. Tracking progress provides motivation. Observing completed goals reinforces the value of effort. Small achievements create a psychological boost that encourages continued action. This cycle of intention, effort, and reflection strengthens discipline and resilience. Daily goal setting also enhances focus. Without clear objectives, the mind drifts toward urgent but trivial matters. Goals provide a framework for attention. Every decision is guided by purpose. Focus becomes a natural outcome rather than forced effort. Goal setting encourages strategic thinking. You learn to anticipate obstacles and plan responses. Potential challenges are considered in advance, reducing surprises and stress. This foresight improves execution and confidence. Goals also promote self-awareness. Reviewing progress daily allows recognition of patterns in behavior. You notice where energy is spent effectively and where it leaks. Awareness creates opportunity for adjustment and improvement. Daily goal setting cultivates patience and persistence. Some objectives are completed quickly, others take sustained effort. By committing to daily targets, you engage with the process rather than only outcomes. Patience grows as consistent effort compounds results. Clarity requires simplicity. Complex goals are more likely to fail. Break tasks into actionable steps. Focus on one or two items that can realistically be achieved. Overloading daily plans creates stress and reduces adherence. Daily reviews reveal gaps between intention and execution. You may discover that certain goals are unrealistic or misaligned. Adjusting goals based on reflection keeps progress steady and achievable. Flexibility ensures continuous improvement without discouragement. Setting goals also strengthens self-discipline. Each day, choosing to follow a plan trains consistency. Over time, discipline becomes automatic. You act with purpose rather than reacting to external circumstances. Goal setting encourages accountability to self rather than reliance on external validation. You learn to measure success based on personal benchmarks. This internal focus fosters independence and maturity. Daily goals reinforce long-term vision. By connecting small tasks to overarching objectives, you maintain direction despite distractions. Each day contributes meaningfully to broader aspirations. Reviewing progress also enhances learning. When outcomes differ from expectations, analysis identifies reasons. Successes reveal effective strategies. Failures highlight areas for adjustment. Continuous reflection improves decision-making and execution over time. Daily goal setting reduces stress. Clarity provides structure and predictability. Knowing what must be accomplished prevents scattered energy and reactive behavior. The mind operates with calm efficiency when priorities are explicit. This practice also fosters resilience. Even when challenges arise, goals provide anchor points. They remind you of priorities and give purpose to persistence. Obstacles are interpreted as part of progress rather than deterrence. Daily objectives build momentum through repetition. Each completed goal reinforces capability and increases confidence. Momentum compounds, making successive days more productive and focused. Goals also improve time management. When priorities are defined, scheduling becomes easier. Unnecessary tasks are minimized. Energy is reserved for what produces meaningful outcomes. Daily goal setting strengthens awareness of self-limiting behaviors. By tracking execution, you see where habits hinder progress. This insight allows targeted adjustment and personal growth. Reflection enhances emotional intelligence. Reviewing achievements and setbacks fosters understanding of how decisions, emotions, and behaviors interact. This awareness improves judgment under pressure. Daily goal setting aligns action with values. Objectives are chosen not arbitrarily, but to reflect personal principles. Alignment between intention and behavior builds integrity and self-respect. Goals also foster initiative. When you know what needs to be done, you act proactively. You anticipate requirements and seek solutions before problems escalate. Reviewing progress enhances adaptability. Recognizing patterns allows adjustment to methods or priorities. Flexibility increases effectiveness without compromising consistency. Daily goal setting encourages mindfulness. Each task is chosen deliberately. Each action is conscious rather than habitual. This presence improves both performance and satisfaction. Goals provide a framework for measuring growth. Without benchmarks, improvement feels abstract. Tracking completion and progress creates concrete evidence of development. Daily review cultivates gratitude and perspective. Observing achievements highlights capability. Even small wins reinforce confidence and optimism. Goals also enhance problem-solving. Clear objectives clarify what constitutes success, making obstacles easier to identify and address. Strategy becomes practical rather than theoretical. Daily goal setting reinforces persistence. Even small actions, when consistently executed, accumulate into meaningful change. Discipline becomes habitual and instinctive. In the end, setting clear goals each day and reviewing progress transforms ordinary routines into intentional practice. It directs energy, sharpens focus, reinforces learning, and builds resilience. Daily objectives bridge ambition and achievement. Reflection ensures growth, adaptation, and self-trust. When practiced consistently, this habit turns effort into results, intention into mastery, and days into meaningful progress toward long-term success. Chapter 10. End every day planning one improvement tomorrow. Ending each day with a clear plan for improvement is one of the most powerful habits for personal growth. Life moves quickly, and without deliberate reflection, progress becomes random and inconsistent. By choosing one specific area to improve tomorrow, the mind shifts from reactive patterns to intentional action. This habit transforms ordinary routines into structured opportunities for advancement, ensuring each day contributes to meaningful growth. Improvement does not require grand gestures. Small, consistent actions compound into remarkable change over time. The practice begins with reflection. Before sleep, review the day honestly and objectively. Observe successes, missteps, and missed opportunities. Recognize moments when you acted in alignment with your goals and moments when distractions or habits interfered. This reflection is not about judgment or criticism, but about clarity. Understanding today's patterns provides the foundation for tomorrow's action. Once reflection is complete, identify one area to improve. This single focus prevents overwhelm. It could be a behavior, a mindset, a skill, or a decision. Making pattern narrowing attention allows deliberate effort. improvement becomes manageable rather than daunting. Trying to change multiple areas at once often diffuses energy and reduces effectiveness. One targeted adjustment ensures attention and accountability. Clarity in defining the improvement is essential. Vague intentions produce little results. Be better at work or exercise more are abstract and difficult to act upon. Instead, specify concrete actions. For example, complete the first 2 priority tasks before checking messages or walk 15 minutes after dinner. Precision increases the likelihood of follow-through and creates measurable progress. Planning tomorrow's improvement strengthens mental preparation. When the day begins, the mind already knows the priority. This eliminates decision fatigue, reduces distractions, and directs focus toward meaningful actions. Preparation converts intention into automatic behavior, allowing discipline to operate with less resistance. Accountability reinforces this habit. Tracking the chosen improvement, even mentally or in a journal, provides tangible evidence of consistency. Observing repeated effort builds confidence and reinforces self-trust. Each day, the commitment to one improvement becomes a concrete demonstration of self-discipline and responsibility. Choosing a single improvement also fosters learning. By concentrating on one behavior, you can observe the impact of focused effort. Patterns become evident, successes can be analyzed, and mistakes can inform adjustment. This feedback loop accelerates growth and prevents wasted energy on ineffective approaches. The habit of daily planning builds resilience. Improvement is rarely linear. Some days may bring challenges, failures, or distractions that interfere with execution. Having a pre-identified improvement keeps momentum alive despite obstacles. Even if full success is not achieved, the act of intentional planning maintains progress and strengthens persistence. Consistency compounds results. Small daily adjustments accumulate into significant changes over time. Incremental improvement produces mastery. Daily planning transforms abstract goals into actionable steps that generate tangible outcomes. Over weeks and months, the accumulation of one improvement per Dalton Y creates a substantial evolution in habits, skills, and mindset. Planning improvement each night also enhances self-awareness. By reflecting on patterns and outcomes, you become attuned to triggers, strengths, and areas of vulnerability. Awareness allows smarter choices, better prioritization, and proactive management of challenges. This consciousness of self strengthens decision-making and emotional regulation. The process also reduces regret and frustration. Knowing that a concrete improvement has been identified and planned ensures that each day contributes to progress. Even small actions provide a sense of accomplishment. The mind perceives effort as meaningful, reinforcing motivation and reducing feelings of stagnation. Daily planning promotes intentional living. Life often drifts when actions are dictated by circumstance rather than choice. Ending the day with a focus for tomorrow ensures that actions are purpose-driven. This practice gradually shifts mindset from reactive to proactive, empowering consistent alignment with long-term goals. This habit also encourages adaptability. Each day brings unique conditions. By reflecting on today and planning one improvement for tomorrow, you learn to adjust strategies to changing circumstances. Improvement becomes dynamic rather than rigid. Flexibility ensures progress continues even under unpredictable conditions. Choosing one improvement prevents overwhelm and builds focus. Modern life offers endless opportunities for action, but scattered effort reduces effectiveness. By concentrating energy on one measurable adjustment, the mind and body adapt efficiently. Focused improvement produces visible change faster than diffuse effort. Daily improvement also reinforces self-efficacy. Each completed action confirms capability. Repeated evidence of competence strengthens belief in personal power. Confidence grows, supporting bolder and more ambitious efforts in other areas of life. Success in small actions cultivates momentum for larger achievements. Planning one improvement each night encourages discipline across domains. Physical health. emotional intelligence, relationships, professional skill, and mental clarity can all benefit. By rotating focus or responding to immediate needs, daily practice ensures balanced growth. Progress becomes holistic rather than fragmented. This habit integrates seamlessly with other practices. Reflection, goal setting, and learning are enhanced when paired with daily improvement planning. Each complements the other, creating a continuous loop of awareness, action, and adjustment. Life becomes a structured journey of purposeful development rather than a series of random events. Implementing improvement does not require perfection. The goal is consistent effort, not flawless execution. Some days may fail to meet expectations. The key is resuming the practice immediately. Resilience grows when setbacks are treated as data rather than failure. Each day provides a new opportunity to apply insight and effort. Planning improvement also strengthens patience. Significant growth requires time. Daily incremental focus trains the mind to accept gradual progress. This patience reduces frustration, discouragement, and impulsive behavior, creating a sustainable approach to long-term development. End-of-day planning also enhances mindfulness. You consciously review patterns, intentions, and outcomes. This reflection fosters presence and attention, improving awareness of the factors influencing behavior. Mindful planning ensures improvement is deliberate rather than accidental. The habit builds accountability to oneself. By choosing an actionable adjustment and committing to it, the mind develops integrity and reliability. Daily practice transforms intention into consistent character, aligning actions with values and priorities. This practice also strengthens motivation. Each night, identifying one improvement primes the brain to act. Anticipation energizes effort. The mind focuses on the immediate, achievable step rather than being overwhelmed by distant goals. Motivation becomes intrinsic and self-sustaining. Over time, daily improvement planning shapes identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who grows intentionally, learns continuously, and acts deliberately. This self-perception reinforces behavior and encourages further advancement. Even small improvements matter. Tiny adjustments accumulate into substantial long-term transformation. The key is consistency, reflection, and deliberate choice. Each improvement contributes to overall competence, confidence, and resilience. Ending the day with one planned improvement ensures life moves in the direction of intentional growth. Reflection clarifies today's lessons, planning sets tomorrow's priority, and action bridges insight with results. This practice fosters mastery over habits, behavior, and mindset. Each day becomes a building block toward excellence, making progress inevitable, measurable, and sustainable.